Well, good morning and welcome to the 10 at 10, the 10-minute rise and grind with your girl, Tigress Queen Getter Done McDaniel. I am actually going to discuss today for Wisdom Wednesday something very simple, very, very simple concept. And I was contemplating what exactly to discuss today. And oftentimes I find that when I, especially being as cerebral as I am, and inclined to kind of hypercognition, if you will, that oftentimes the best lessons that I have learned throughout my life and my career have been, in fact, instead, and ironically enough, the simplest lessons. So my mother used to always kind of doodle. And this one particular doodle has always stood out to me. She would write the word boy very simply on the paper. And we're going to see about how you can identify this. Okay, so let's see here. Write it very simply on the paper, and then you make the link. You wonder what in the world is the lesson that Tigress is intending to, teach today. Okay, there you have it. Okay. And you get the point. The rest of the why is supposed to come there. Okay. So why share this? Why share this simple doodle as a form of wisdom for our Wisdom Wednesday? Why do that? What is the relevance there? When we are contemplating a matter, when you have something that must be considered and a determination must be made, when you have a dilemma, when you have a problem, and you must find a resolution or a solution at all, too often we look for these golden nuggets, the impossible find, this amazing revelation, this epiphany moment. And in reality, most solutions, most resolution, most determination, most decision making is best hinged upon simplicity and common sense. So what I'm sharing with you today is on the principle of not overthinking a matter, and the wisdom, the great invaluable wisdom that comes along with not overthinking a matter, not overthinking to achieve some type of decision or resolution. You see, the answer is very reasonably and generally always right there in front of you, just like you saw with the boy, right? So we look at our time. Boy is right there. Our answer is right there. The boy, aside from my maybe not so excellent drawing skills, the word boy and the conceptualization of boy are right there in front of me. So when you are considering a matter, contemplating a matter, and you are attempting to find some resolution to a problem at hand, it's always a good thing. I believe in a cooling off period. I believe in, and we don't always 100% get this right. This is not about getting things 100% right, because you won't get things 100% right in life. The idea is to calibrate so well and so frequently and so accurately, so positively, that the calibration becomes innate with your process. And the calibration becomes innate also with your resolution process, with your decision-making process. And if the calibration is there and you can write, when you see the word boy, you can immediately conceptualize boy. And then you can conceptualize all things that would be relevant to boy. And again, I'm simplifying this matter, so I want you to understand the relationship that I'm sharing with you here. I'm simplifying the matter, even though it can be used for higher level or more complicated resolution or problem solving task. Okay? Seeing the word written boy, then being able to conceptualize boy from that written word boy, and then circumspectively considering all possible factors, all determinants, everything that would be relevant to your decision-making process on the matter of boy. You see how simple that really is? But the simplicity of this doodle has higher level application. So let's choose any example, okay? Let's say, let's start with personal affairs. Let's say you're trying to make a decision on whether or not you should move or accept a position, accept a job position, relocate, okay? So effectually, you should be able to calibrate, devise a list of both the, like we've all heard, the pros and the cons. And not even so much as just the pros and the cons, but as I've taught and as has been taught in leadership studies and like academia, you look at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Because there's a lot more involved than just your pros and cons. There's duality also in your pros and cons. Some, like the move, can be both a positive, and there can be some threats in moving as well. The cost of moving, the cost incurred. Will the salary that you receive, will it cover the cost incurred? Will it cover it in real time? Are you receiving an advance for your moving costs? Will these costs have to come out of your budget? And if they're coming out of your budget, do you then have to use a credit card? Are you liquid enough to use those funds? Is it wise to use liquidity for this move? Is this a secure position? Is it contractually based? Do you have a safety net? All of these things should become part of your regular calibration. But most importantly is to not overthink a matter. To always trust your intuition. And if you are sufficiently calibrated, now there can be situations where your intuition, seemingly fails you. That's because it's not your intuition that you're using as a basis for your decision making. You may be using emotives. You may be using failed logic. You may be using assumptions that have no basis in accuracy for your particular situation. You may be using fear. But if you are completely and sufficiently calibrated, and I shouldn't say completely because, again, I said we will approach that level. So when I say completely, I'm saying at your best potential, your best calibrated state. That would be you're completely calibrated. Then you can trust your intuition. If you know, and we all know these things, we have to be honest with yourselves. You know if you're still dealing with some emotional unintelligence in one particular area. If you are, then maybe it's best for you to seek the advisement of friends or colleagues who you know they excel in that arena. It may not be a comfortable conversation, but comfort is not going to be your end goal, especially where that lack of comfort may be your outcome if you choose to use wrong thinking upon which to make your decisions. Simplicity. Write out what the matter is. Move. MOVE. Then conceptualize everything that would be entailed in that move. See the move. Visualize the move. Can you see more strengths and opportunities in this move, or do you see more weaknesses and threats? Ascertain the extent of the strengths and opportunities. Ascertain the extent of the weaknesses and threats. Do a full conceptualization. You should be able to see the entire picture right before you. And as you get older and wiser and have more experience, and this is not always a age matter. This is a matter of how often you, as an adult, an emerging adult from 18 on into, I believe, long, healthy lives for all of you, as you continue this walk of life, you must circumspectively, you must holistically engage the conceptualization of any matter that you must contemplate. Again, these can be positive matters. These can be quote unquote negative matters or problematic situations. Resolution is not always a negative matter. These are the ways that you will best be able to emotionally manage, intellectually manage your life and all the things that are entailed therein. And you can make better decisions. You can make smarter decisions. And when I say better and smarter, I'm using these terms colloquially. Smarter is not going to be smarter. Your smart solution may not be my smart solution. Here's an example. If you're going to accept a position, let's say you have no kids, and we're both up for a promotion. We're in our respective fields. The fields of study or academia or profession are not relevant to the point that I'm trying to make. Instead, the point that I'm making is that your smart decision may not be a smart decision for when you apply it to my circumstances, okay? My parameters, my equation of life. Your equation has no kids. My equation has a child, and my child has EOE. Move to California, relocate. You may be in a position in your life, at whatever stage, your particular stage of life, moving to California may befit your evolution.